Hey guys, just want to talk to you guys about a little development that we have been doing. The 16G budget big turbo car that you probably have seen elsewhere on the video, I wanted to experiment using something called a Mac solenoid or a Mac valve. It's a boost control solenoid. Well, really it's an industrial air solenoid that has been used for years in the aftermarket to function as a boost controller for either OEM replacement or an aftermarket boost control system by Apexi, Greddy, or any of those companies. I wanted to see if it worked on the Juke. I had seen one instance of it actually being used on a Juke. Person didn't have any good results, so I just wanted to see for myself if it was gonna work. I had an extra Mac valve laying around from my Skyline. I always order things in two. So I threw it on the Juke and then went and got the car tuned without knowing if it was gonna work properly or not. I did a little bit of road experimenting with it, saw that I could get some boost adjustment, but didn't want to push it too much on the street. So I went and got it tuned, and if you saw the last video, you saw I was able to do two different tunes, which is all I needed, a street tune and a go for it tune, as I'll call it. And I used the Mac valve to control it. It controls the boost perfect. You don't get any crazy spikes or dips or anything like that using the valve. So the next question I had was, okay, if I can use it after I tune it, can it be used on a factory vehicle? So, Chad the Fisherman is still driving around in a stock Nissan Juke for the time being. I had him bring the car down and I hooked a Mac valve up to his car. I drove it for about a half hour. It was a little more than 8 miles. I was stuck in some traffic, that's the time. I beat the snot out of the car the entire time I had it. So basically every chance I could, I was just mashing the throttle. I had up rev attached to it with a data logger, watching air fuel ratio, knock, boost, all of those things. It drove just like stock. There was literally no difference in the way it drove with the factory valve or the aftermarket one. Actually, here's a video 20 miles later that I had him send me to confirm everything was still working.
So, drove about 16.5 miles on the stock turbo aftermarket Mac valve. Did about 8 other miles prior to resetting the tripometer. No engine lights. Running great.
So I know that it works. We have, the testing and I have data logs. So I wanted to go ahead and offer something to the community. So I had these brackets made up to mount to the factory boost solenoid mount just for cars that I was building because I knew I was going to use Mac valves from now on for big turbo cars. So now I know it works with the factory Juke. I now have a kit for it. Why do you want to do this? Well, this right here is the factory boost control solenoid. As you can see, it's pretty much made out of plastic. It's just 2 wires. It's a pulse operated solenoid, just like the Mac valve, same number of ports, everything. It's just a different design. These fail all the time. I replaced one last month on somebody's car local. I have people hitting me up for the part number all the time. Nissan parts deal. They probably sell dozens of them. I know at the dealership I worked at, we used to replace them all the time. My personal Juke, the first one that I had, went through 2 of these in its life. So these die all the time. And the reason for that is oil gets into the plastic housing, things start to expand and gum up and it goes bad. It's just the way this is designed. The piston inside is extremely tiny, very easy to clog. Mac valve, on the other hand, is extremely robust. It's made out of aluminum. There's probably plastic parts in it somewhere, but it's mostly made out of metal, which means it's a lot more robust. So it's a reliability thing. That's why I'm recommending doing this. This is like $80-something through Nissan Parts Deal, which is usually as cheap as you can get. I'm going to be selling this kit. The price will be in the link down below. And if your Mac valve ever goes bad, you can hop online and buy one for like 30 or 40 bucks somewhere and replace this. So it makes it a lot easier for you if you do have a problem in the future. It's a lot cheaper to replace. Installation of this is really, really straightforward. Here is a photo of one installed, and I'm going to now label everything and I'll explain where everything goes. So the port that's on the left that has a 90-degree nipple coming out of it, that port will go to your wastegate, which is on top of the turbo. That's what actually regulates your boost. The port in the middle, or port number 3, goes to your boost reference. That is the little nipple that comes out of the intercooler pipe after the turbocharger. And then port number 1 goes back into your intake, so that's where it vents the air out of the system to increase boost. The 2 wires that come out of it just get teed into the 2 wires that are used for the factory solenoid. You can either cut the harness like I did for this one and then just butt connect it in, which this kit comes with butt connectors, or you can go ahead and just tee into this and leave this connector so you don't have to mess with it. That is entirely up to you depending on your electrical ability. I have to say, if you already have a tune on your car, so somebody has tuned your vehicle and you install this, you need to get a retune. At factory boost pressure, so a base map, this works perfectly fine. But when you start adding boost, it does not increase at a 1-to-1 ratio when you add it in the tuning software. It starts off at like a 1.2-to-1 ratio, and then it goes up with more boost that you demand out of it. So for instance, in my Juke, to get 23 pounds of boost, I had to set the condition in the computer to want 19 pounds of boost. But to get 14 pounds of boost, I only had to set it at 14 pounds of boost, which is basically your stock pulse rate. So again, confirmed to work. Here's a video of me doing a 14 PSI pull on this Mac valve. And here is a video of me doing my Go Fast tune. The tires were smoking, so it wasn't hitting full boost, but it was sitting up there. It's just another way to keep your car more reliable. These kits are on the website, link is down below. You can reuse your OEM hoses, or I will be offering these upgraded silicone hoses, which can take the heat a little bit better, and they actually look and feel a lot nicer than the hoses that come on the car. So I just wanted to make this video to let you guys know that we have tried and succeeded with this, and it's just something to help you guys keep your cars going. I know from now on, big turbo cars are definitely getting these, and all factory Jukes that come in here that are on stock tunes, I'm gonna try to talk people into getting these, because this right here is gonna save some money in the long run and definitely help with reliability. So thank you guys for watching through this long, drawn out discussion. But yeah, they're available right on the website. Again, if you have an ECU tune, do not put this on unless you're getting a retune immediately after. I also don't recommend getting e-tunes or somebody emailing you a tune with this on, because they're going to try to use the factory map to get to a certain boost point, but it doesn't increase 1-to-1 with these. So just getting that out of the way. I'll have the image of how to install this with everything routed right up on the page for the product. But again, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi, you made it through a whole video. I appreciate that. You should go check out our other videos. You should also go check out our website, thefastreligion.com. We got like sweatshirts and t-shirts and stuff.